this is Ben from TSO. Today we're going to do an updated shop tour, which we did one a couple weeks ago, but there's been a lot changing over the past couple of weeks. We've moved a lot of stuff around, so we just want to give you an update. Let's first head on over to the laser, which we haven't done too many updates on the laser. A lot of this area is still the same, but we've gotten a lot of stuff cleaned up and organized a little bit better than we had in the past. So we've got all our materials up on the storage rack with our two compressors over here on the left. And one thing we've struggled with a lot in the past is our skeleton strategy. So after the tips or overlays and stuff have been cut out of the sheet, what do we do with all the little bits of extra sheet that didn't get cut up? So being able to manage that and figure out a good system for that has been a little bit of a challenge, but we're slowly getting better, and now we have them on pallets and different things so we can move it around much more efficiently than in the past. So then we come over, so we just cut out a bunch of exhaust tips of the 304 stainless steel, and right here they're prepped to be bent on the press brake. And then here is our Trump TrueBend 2100. It's a 10-foot press brake up to 110 tons. So basically what that means is we can bend around a 6 to 7 foot piece of 1/4 inch steel to a 90-degree angle. So that gives you a little bit of a comparison as to the scale as to what we can bend. And then you can see over here we've got a bunch of these are our 10-inch exhaust tips that they're bent up. We've got a bunch of our 8-inch over there that are being staged for welding. And we have we're working on building up a couple carts. That way we can get all this stuff off the ground and we're not having to do as much carrying. That way we can just create a much better flow. So then coming over here to welding, before we had this big long welding curtain that was just made out of random parts that we had laying around the shop, but now we've cleaned all this stuff up and built some dedicated racks for our welding curtains and put them all on casters so that way we can move them around based on what we're welding. And then also with the one welding curtain we had in the past, we would have a lot of draft issues with air. And if you know anything about welding, especially TIG welding with argon, you get a lot of problems with a draft because we have to create a draft to help get some of the smoke from the exhaust plus also just keep circulation up in the shop. But that made issues with the welding station because it would blow the gas around. They wouldn't get very good coverage and make pinholes and whatnot. So now that we're able to do this, we're able to fully enclose off the welding station. That way we can now keep all the doors open and keep everybody else happy, as well as keep the welders happy. Then coming over here, what used to be, well, this is our grinding room. So that's our grinding room / laser welding room. So this is our laser welder. We got this a couple weeks ago. And based on what we saw online, it was going to be super simple and easy to set up. It hasn't been as simple as we were hoping, but it's a work in progress. But once we get this thing up and running, speed up production by 2 to 3 times. And or eliminate the need for us to grind the seam of the tip to make it a seamless unit, because we should be able to weld it, and after it gets powder coated it would all look seamless. So then we have our tip storage racks, which right now they're a little barren because we're doing a big run to build up some inventory. And then over here, where we used to have shipping and junk storage pretty much, this is our new shipping, we had sandblasting, not shipping. So this is our new shipping area, and we have a much better layout. There are still a few different things we need to tweak, like moving some racks around, that way we have better access with being able to walk around and walk through things. So we just have we have all of our overlays and our tips right here, so that way whenever we need to go pull an order, we can go straight, grab the tip, pull the overlay, assemble it, and ship it out in a couple of minutes. So that's making our ordering and shipping, or not the ordering, but the shipping and assembly side of things much faster. Then coming over here, we have our new powder coating system. So this is a 10 by 10 by 16 foot enclosed powder coating booth with an 8 by 8 by 12 oven. So the burner box on this oven is bigger than our old ovens. So just the thing that creates the flame is bigger than our old ovens. So with this, we're able to, at minimum, 4x the amount of parts we can powder coat at any day. And then also with having the enclosed booth, it keeps the dust from just people coming in and out from outside, as well as the laser machine and welding and grinding. That way we don't get any of the contamination onto our parts, because before we would have to make sure this door was shut, And then also have to make sure all that floor was clean. We have to make sure an entire 4,000 square foot side of the building was clean, just so we wouldn't have to get any contamination to powder coat. Which now with this, we only have to make sure this is clean, that way, and we don't have any contamination. But then through this door, we have what is our old powder shop, and it's becoming this will be our custom shop. So right now this is our two small ovens, and we also have 2 more small ovens that are in the back. We just don't have them hooked up yet. We had originally planned on having these 2 pieces of equipment in this building, but we realized that would quickly cause us to run out of space. So what we decided was to put the big oven and booth out here. So now we're going to completely redesign our custom powder coating area. So we're going to move the 2 ovens, as well as have a new space for the other 2 ovens to go. That way we can have just 4 ovens in a relatively tight area, mainly for doing custom colors. So if we're doing an overlay, or if we're ever needing to do a Gen Y hitch or something like that, we're not having to use a big oven just to do one little part. Because we're also going to be getting a strip tank, probably strip tank that may be the green solve system later on down the road, but in the short term it's just going to be a simple strip tank. That way we can now, let's say a customer wants to swap out their tip, we can now strip it and repowder coat it, and because the tip is still fine. So then the last thing of our shop tour is we have our sandblasting area, which that ties in with the powder coating. So to get a tip powder coated and ready to be shipped out, first we got to sandblast it. And that's why we have the rack centrally located, because if we have a raw product, it can either be shipped or the raw tip can get sandblasted, that way it can be powder coated. And we currently outsource our stacks and traction bars because they're a little big and kind of cumbersome. You see we got Vincent over here sandblasting some tips, and where they get difficult is where you have a 30-pound stack and you're trying to hold it up and spray it, and you can't really see much because you've just got that little window. So we're able to do the tips and everything in here, and it's much faster for us to do them in-house. Look over here, you can see we've got this is where our offices and bathrooms and break rooms and whatnot. And then now our junk storage is on top of the offices. Eventually we'll do something with it, but for right now, that's the best thing we've got. Keep it off the floor. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also head on over to TSO.co to upgrade your build.